Now, when we think of family, sometimes we could think of dysfunctional family. How many of you grew up in a dysfunctional family? How many of your families were dysfunctional because of you? Right? Well, if the truth of it be told, we all play a level of some sort of dysfunction in our own lives, and we recognize that when we are connected with a greater reality of people around us, they also will have issues and challenges. And therefore, I would say all of us at some point have been a part of and are a part of some form of a dysfunctional family. So when we think of family sometimes, that's immediately where our mind goes to. We think of families that are broken, mothers and fathers who have abandoned one another, mothers and fathers that have abandoned their children, mothers and fathers that have abandoned their children, yet they still live in the same household. We know of families that are full of addictions and pain and suffer great loss. We also have family members that are very narcissistic and are very proud. We know that we have family members that struggle with mental illness and diseases and medical issues. We have family members in our families that like to pick fights and find ways to prove that they are right. Is that you? That was me sometimes, right? I wanted to pick a fight just so I might win. I might be wrong, but I want to win, right? We have family members that are know-it-alls and are critical of everything, but they've never done it, but they know how you should do it. You know, and it's this idea when we think of family, sometimes when we think of it in a very earthly way, we think of it in these terms. How many of you have siblings that you don't get along with anymore? You haven't talked to maybe for years. But you realize this is no matter whether you talk to them or not, the reality is this, whether you treat them as a brother or sister, they are still your brother or sister. Several years ago, my brother passed away. He passed away almost 10 years ago. You know what my brother is to me today? He's still my brother. That bond will not be broken. Even in death, he is still my brother. And so this idea is when we're brought together and we think of family in earthly terms, we can also think of it in very distorted terms when we start to think about the spiritual reality that God has called us to be family. So we talk about God's family, and we're part of this family, this church. And for many of us, we think of the dysfunctional nature. But see, we are not just an earthly family. We are a spiritual family that has been bought by the blood of Jesus. And as the church, we are not just related because we happen to have the same kins, the same aunts and uncles, the same whatever family member it might be. But we are uniquely bonded together because of the relationship with Jesus Christ. And that blood relation is the blood of Christ in us that covers us, that now makes us family. Church, we're not friends. We're family.